Welcome everyone. If I could ask everyone to be upstanding for our opening prayer. Almighty God, we ask that you be present at this meeting to assist us in our service to the community through local government. We pray that our decisions will be wise and taken with goodwill and clear conscience. Amen. Councillor and officer presence at the meeting. We have all councillors in attendance. We have Acting Chief Executive Officer, Acting Director of Infrastructure and Environment. No, we haven't. We've got our Director of Infrastructure and Environment, Deputy Director of Community Planning, and Director of Corporate and Organisational Development. I'm going to use this little... do we have any apologies? Probably have an apology from our CEO, I guess, as she's on leave. Do we have someone move apologies? Councillor Anderson and Councillor Wortman, disclosure of conflict of interest. None. Confirmation of minutes. The following meeting minutes are being presented. The minutes are circulated to be confirmed in the ordinary council meeting held on the 23rd of August 2023. I'd like to move the motion. Councillor Wortman.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the minutes as circulated be confirmed for the ordinary council meeting held on the 23rd of August 2023.
Do I have a seconder? Councillor Scales. All in favour? Carried. Petitions and joint letters. Nil. Public question time. We do have a couple of public question time letters, and I'll hand over to our acting CEO.
Through you, Mr Mayor, we received one public question time submission with 2 questions. I'll read them out to you. So council may not be aware that the sheep trucks can be parked for up to half an hour on Bryant Gaps Road while they're waiting for their turn to enter the meatworks. Although work has been done on this road, there are still no clearly visible lines and no area for these trucks to park safely off the road. So they park on the road with hazard lights on and expect other vehicles to go around them with limited visibility. Can council please work with Meatworks to stagger the trucks' time of arrival, or raise the issue with Vic Road so that this narrow road that has enough hazards on it without users expected to negotiate parked B-double trucks become a lot more safer for all road users? I can continue the second question, or would you prefer to...
Do both questions and then we'll answer them.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Still on lines, when will the car parks on Towing Street be relined? When it rains, it is very hard to see the lines, and that causes people to inadvertently park over the hard to see lines.
Thank you. I think our Director of Infrastructure and Environment might be able to give us some clarity on both those, or where we need to move to.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So firstly, the trucks on Bryant's Gap Road, so thank you for bringing that to our attention, and we will get in contact with the abattoir and have a chat about what arrangements we can come up with that will work for everyone. And regarding the line marking in Tallangatta, we've had a contract in place with the line marker for quite some time. We've just been waiting for the weather to clear up so that we can actually get them here. So looking outside, sunshine's come out now, and we're hoping to get it done in the next couple of months.
Thank you. Item 8, informal meetings of councillors. Councillor Scales.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Happy to move that the information be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Scales. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Dickshay. All in favour? Carried. 9.1's performance reporting graphs. probably happy to take that as read. Is there any questions or clarification on that report? Nothing? Would someone like to move a motion? Councillor Wortman.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the report be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Wortman. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Anderson. All those in favour? Carried. (9.2) Appointment of Audit and Risk Committee Chairperson. I'll call on our Director of Corporate and Organisational Development.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to recommend the appointment of Ms Lisa Forsyth to the role of Chairperson of the Audit and Risk Committee. So this was voted on at the most recent committee meeting. Mr Spencer Rich, his term expires on the 27th of October, and Lisa was nominated and accepted the nomination. So the recommendation is before you.
Any questions or clarification? I'd just add there that so we have 2 new committee members, and Lisa's been with us now for 12 months, so fits in very well with the new members and stuff. Councillor Wortman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm really pleased with the recommendation. Thanks, Mr Spencer Rich, for his contribution. It's an important position, the chair of the Audit and Risk Committee, and yeah, that's really good.
Yep. Thank you, Councillor Wortman. Someone like to move a motion? Councillor Anderson.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation as presented.
Thanks, Councillor Anderson. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Scales. Golly, it's getting Wortman stuck in my head. Thanks, Councillor Scales. Does anyone like to speak to that at all? Councillor Anderson? Councillor Scales? Anyone else speak to that motion? We'll put the motion. Someone like to move the motion? We've done it. Golly. All those in favour? Carried. I'm getting lost, aren't I? Very good. Thank you. 10.1 Bushfire Relief and Recovery Update. The Bushfire Relief and Recovery Update is presented.
We missed one.
9.4.
Moving too quick. It's a new computer. 9.4 Action Sheet Report. Probably happy to take that one as read. Are there any questions or clarification on that? Councillor Dickshay.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Notice on item 7 on the action sheet reports, public question time, there's a note in one of the columns that says no service request required, and I feel like we should be responding to the questions and sending a letter or some form of response. So I feel like that should be changed.
Thanks. Councillor Dickshay. Would someone like to call on our acting CEO to respond?
Through you, Mr Mayor, we're happy to make the updates so it's very clear what action has taken place, whether there's a service request or not in future papers.
Yep. Thank you. Any further questions or clarification? Someone like to move the motion? Councillor Dickshay.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the report be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Dickshay. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Anderson. All those in favour? Carried. Now we must be up to Number 10, 10.1 bushfire relief and recovery update is presented biannually and is scheduled to be presented at the February 2024 meeting. 11's asset management and 11.1's town maintenance contract. And I'll call on our Director of Infrastructure and Environment.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. The purpose of this report is to seek approval for a one-year extension to the existing town maintenance contracts. So in September 21, Council passed a resolution to contract out a range of town maintenance services. Under the same resolution, Council requested that any variations to the contract be represented to Council for approval. So this is a one-year variation. Officers have reported back they're quite happy with the town maintenance contractors, and the recommendation is that we continue.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification on that report? Councillor Wortman.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I just want to clarify, there will be some added in the near future when things are completed, is that correct?
Like the walking tracks and different things.
That will come under the town maintenance program?
Yeah, so they are actually already in the contract.
Yep.
But the construction process hasn't handed them over to the contractor yet.
Yep.
So once they get handed over, then that maintenance will continue. But at the moment, we're not paying for the maintenance because they have not finished, if that makes sense.
Exactly. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
Any further questions or clarification? Someone like to move motion? Councillor Anderson.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation as presented.
Thanks, Councillor Anderson. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Scales. Like to speak to that at all?
Well, thanks, Mr Mayor. I just wanted to note that we have had some increases from time to time, depending on the seasons, which have been accommodated, so we're very appreciative of that with the council and the contractors, so thank you.
Very good. Councillor Scales.
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. Just very briefly, great to extend these current contracts as they are, and I'd just like to highlight the additional work that occurs when we've got our progress associations involved. They go above and beyond what is part of the contract.
Yeah. Very good. Anyone else like to speak to that motion? No. All those in favour? Carried. Woo, up there. Gonna have to go a bit away, aren't I? Righto, 11.2 is Corrion Skate Park Development. And calling on our Director of Community and Planning, or are we going?
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Director.
This report is to provide information to Council on the progress of the Corrion Skate Park project, which is reaching an exciting stage. So you'll see in the report that the design is coming to a conclusion after good input from Project Reference Group and the community. And we're now ready to move towards the detailing of those designs in readiness for construction tender. And the report is there for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification on that report? No? Would someone like to move a motion? Councillor Dickshay.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the report be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Dickshay. And a seconder? Councillor Scales. Councillor Dickshay, would you like to speak to that?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I just think it's the progress on this project is going very well, and it's an exciting project for the future of the community.
Yep. Agree. Councillor Scales.
Just reiterate Councillor Dickshaw's comments. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else like to speak to that? No? We'll put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. 11.3 Swimming Pool Management Report. And again, I'll call on our Acting Director of Community and Planning.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. So the purpose of this report is to acknowledge the challenges in managing and operating community pools and to recommend the appointment of Belgravia Leisure under a fee-for-service model to manage the Toolangatta and Corrion pools.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification on this report, councillors? Councillor Scales.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Through to the appropriate officer. So we're recommending that Belgravia have the management and operation of the town swimming pools. I did hear on the radio this morning that they themselves were having difficulty attracting staff. Just wondering how we are situated with that.
Thanks, Councillor, for the question. So yes, all pool operators are challenged by staff availability. We're fortunate in Towong to have a ready and able team of workers to undertake the staffing in the coming season.
Very good. Any further? Yeah, Councillor Dickshay.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'm wondering if we could get some advice or comment about whether this is a unique situation that we're facing with the challenges around ongoing management, or if this is a more widespread issue across the state.
Thanks, Councillor Dickshay.
Thanks for the question, Councillor. Yes, it's not unique to Towong to struggle with the operations and management of pools. It's something particularly small rural councils struggle with each year. The costs are going up, the cost of staffing, etc. is going up, and it may be pertinent for council to undertake some advocacy to state government in supporting the operations of community pools.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions, clarification? Would someone like to move a motion? Councillor Waltman.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move the recommendation as presented.
Thanks, Councillor Waltman. A seconder? Councillor Dickshay. Councillor Waltman, would you like to speak to?
Yeah, thanks, Mr Mayor. Look, I'd just like to follow on from what the officer said. Managing pools and swimming pools is a real issue for small rural councils. As we know, the costs are increasing, and but swimming pools are a vital piece of infrastructure in our communities, and you know, we listen to the media every day. They're predicting a very hot summer, and it's just very important to keep our pools open.
Yeah. Thanks, Councillor Waltman. Councillor Dickshay, you'd like to speak to the...
Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Would anyone else like to speak to Councillor Scales?
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move an amendment, please. I'd just like to add a point 4, that a report be prepared and brought to council regarding submitting a motion to the next MAV State Council, which will occur around May next year, regarding advocacy for funding from the state government to local government for ongoing pool operations budgets.
Very good. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Anderson. Would you like to speak to that, Councillor Scales?
Very briefly, Mr Mayor, as we know, costs are escalating time and time again, year after year, with swimming pools, and as our officer said earlier, it's an ongoing struggle to finance the operations of these, and I really believe that the state has a part to play in the funding of these vital community assets that really encourage health and healthy lifestyles, which then in the long run means they're not going to hospitals often or needing medical care, which is state government funded. So I think it's a win-win for all if we can get some money out of the state.
Thanks, Councillor Scales. Councillor Anderson.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I just want to add to Councillor Scales the importance of swim lessons, because we have waterways all the way around our shire, and the risk to our children is quite great, so we need those swim lessons. So it's very important for us to continue.
Thanks, Councillor Anderson. All those in favour of the amendment, so that's now the motion. We all vote on the motion. All those, the motion. All those in favour of carried. Land use planning, 12.1 land use planning report. And I think I'm calling on our acting CEO.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This report is a regular report regarding the land use planning permit activity that is undertaken across the municipality. And as you can see from the attachment, we have had quite substantial improvements on our processing times from the previous year to the current. So just by way of outlining, you can see that our shortest statistical days have gone from 4 days for a minimum processing time to 1, and for our medium statistical statutory days has gone from 78 to 62.5, and even more pleasing, the 12-month average for this calendar year, we're down at 47 median statutory days, so well and truly under the state allowance for processing times. The recommendation is that the report be noted.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification on that report? Nothing? Would someone like to move a motion? Councillor Scales.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the report be noted, and also another point that the planning department, which consists of about a whole 1.5 people, or maybe 2 nowadays, be congratulated on the improvement with the turnover of planning applications.
Thanks. Councillor Scales, do I have a second of Councillor Dickshay? Councillor Scales, would you like to speak to that?
No, thanks, Mr Mayor.
Councillor Dickshay? Anyone else like to speak to that? I'd just like to say that I think it's great it was one of the things that we've been working on, and I think the things that we've implemented in the planning area are starting to pay off, so I think that's a real benefit. So we'll put the motion. All those in favour? No one's against. All carried. (13) is environmental sustainability, and the report will be provided at the October 2023 meeting. 14 is economic development and the economic development report, and I'll call on our acting CEO.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This report is a 6-monthly report that is provided to Council on the economic development activities that we undertake internally. As you can see from the report, there's an enormous amount of work currently going on, particularly in the tourism space, and also in relation to some of the marketing activities we've been doing in relation to Great River Road, as well as the destination websites and branding. So really excited to see them coming to life in the not too near future. And I also wanted to point to some of our work regarding the Ovens Murray Drought Resilience Plan. So as part of a review of our staffing arrangements with Agriculture Officer, we did form a partnership with Riverine Plains, who are able to access quite significant agricultural expertise. And as part of that, we have been co-designing or part of the Ovens Murray Drought Resilience Plan. And I know when you've had floods, it's hard to think about drought, but I think the summer that we're about to have probably speaks to the fact that we are probably on the precipice of another drought, and so great to have that work underway across the Ovens Murray region. The recommendation is that the report be noted.
Thank you very much. Any questions or clarification on that report? Councillor Wardman.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Just on the partnership with Riverine Plains, how long is that partnership expected to last, or indefinite, or?
Through you, Mr Mayor. At this stage, we've agreed with Riverine Plains as a trial of 12 months to really, I guess, see it through and see how it works. I think the expectation would be any partnership takes a little bit of time to evolve, so hopefully it will be longer than that, but certainly we've agreed to an initial 12-month period.
Thank you.
Councillor Waltman.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I just see the Bellbridge pop-up cafe. There's a few issues with that project. I was just wondering, what's is there anything sorry, just on without notice? Is there anything in the wings there, or?
Yeah. Through you, Mr Mayor. So we received actually I might just backtrack a little bit. So the purpose of the Bellbridge pod or cafe was really trying to activate the foreshore in advance of any possible developments at the boat club site. And we, as part of it was one of our recovery priorities, and as part of that we went and sought a whole range of estimates for what was possible, and we'd been given some initial I guess estimates by Indigo Shire Council, who actually rolled out a similar thing as part of some COVID funding that they received. What we found, no surprise, is due to COVID-19 and other things, that the prices associated with this have actually gone up quite dramatically. So at this point in time, the budget that we had for that project is not sufficient to do the work. The officers have been working through other options, so second-hand options or wherever might be possible, and or coming back to propose some possible options, either additional budget through recovery or a scaled-down version of that model. So future council presentation, but yeah, certainly work's been underway for a while.
Thank you very much. Sorry, Mr Mayor.
Councillor
One last one. Just the Great River Road project and the artworks. I mean, everyone I talk to is pretty excited about it. Just wondering what the timelines are.
Through Mr Mayor, I will take that on notice so I can get the detailed ones in case any of them have changed. As far as I know, it should all be by the end of the year, but I will chase them up just in case they have changed.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Without notice, sorry.
Any further questions or Councillor Dickshaw.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. In relation to the Midder Mountain Bike Park, I see that there's been some challenges which may, and around the budget, which may necessitate some scope adjustments. Are you able to provide any information around that, or is that something that we need to look at later on?
Through you, Mr Mayor, I think given that the Midder Mountain Bike Park isn't technically a project of councils, it's probably more appropriate to have Midder Valley provide that information, but I'm happy to source it and ask them to write a letter about some of those cost adjustments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions or clarification? No? Someone like to move a motion? Councillor Scales.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Happy to move that the report be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Scales. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Anderson. Councillor Scales, anything to Councillor Anderson? Would you like to speak?
Well, thanks, Mr Mayor. Just that the continued consultation with the community is fantastic, and I think that's making a big difference. So thank you very much to the Director and the staff, because it's such an important part to make sure we're all working together. So thank you.
Anyone else like to speak to Councillor Dickshaw?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd just like once again to acknowledge it's always exciting when you read reports like this that shows the breadth of activity that's going on. Council cops are whacking over things from time to time, but when you see the breadth of activities across the community in so many different areas, I think it's very exciting. I think the staff should be congratulated for that.
Thanks, Councillor Dickshay. If no one else got anything, we'll put the motion. All those in favour? No one's against? Carried. (15) Councillor reports, nil. 16 urgent business, nil. 17 's committee minutes. 17.1 audit and risk committee meeting minutes. Happy to take them as read. Are there any questions or clarification about the audit and risk committee meeting minutes? Nothing? Someone like to move a motion? Councillor Scales.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the unconfirmed audit and risk committee minutes and resolutions from 16th of June 2023 be noted.
Thanks, Councillor Scales. The seconder. Councillor Anderson. Councillor Scales, would you like to speak to that?
Not really, Mr Mayor. They're very comprehensive minutes, though.
Councillor Anderson.
No, thank you, Mr Mayor.
Anyone else like to speak to? I'd just like to say that we had a couple of new audit and risk committee members, and their knowledge and experience is very substantial and will be of great benefit to council, and looking forward to their input over the next 4 years. We'll put the motion. All those in favour? No one's against? Carried. 18 council policies. Policies for adoption is the climate adaptation policy. I'm happy to take that one as read. Any questions or clarification on that policy? Nothing? Councillor Dickshay.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just like to seek one amendment to the policy, if I may.
Yep. What do we?
Just the removal of a couple of words on page 4 under the there's a remove on the line where it refers to the heat wave plan. Sorry, I'm just finding the correct municipal emergency management plan, and there is two words that in paragraphs that says particularly heat waves, and I'd be asking that we remove those 2 words to indicate that our policy refers to all types of extreme weather events, not just heat related weather events.
So, Councillor Dickshay, you're happy to move a motion
to accept the climate adaptation policy with that one amendment.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr Mayor, if you're comfortable, the recommendation as it stands is that the Chief Executive Officer be authorised to make minor administrative changes where necessary to the policy. I'm happy if you're comfortable that that would be classified as a minor administrative change, and we make that change formally to the policy to remove the word heat, particularly heat waves.
Happy with that, Councillor Dickshay?
I am, thank you,
Yep.
Mr Mayor.
if there's no further questions, would someone like to move the motion?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to move that the recommendation as presented be adopted.
Thanks, Councillor Dickshay. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Anderson? Councillor Dickshay, would you like to speak to that at all?
No, thank you.
Councillor Anderson? Anyone else speak to that? We'll put the motion. All those in favour? No one's against. Carried. 19, sealing of documents. 20 is confidential. And that will be close our meeting.